I appreciate being put on the agenda tonight. Unfortunately, I wasn't given equal time to talk.
Give us your name and address, please.
Irwin Jackson, 1341 Jackson Bluff. NAACP, just two quick comments. They talk about documentation. Go to irwinjackson.com. You'll have all the documentation you want on everything I've seen, said, including you can see the video of the mayor calling me a liar, then going outside and telling the reporter, oops, I misspoke. Why didn't he come in here and on TV say, oops, he just misspoke? This information came from the state attorney's office. This is a criminal file on this man who was hired by these folks, Jim English, to spy on my business. Surely when I heard NAACP was going to be here, they would speak out about spying on citizens. This is a criminal file that I received from the police department of Tallahassee. They were going to fire this man. He quit because of his numerous criminal violations. This is documentation. I'm not making this up. You couldn't make it up. Commissioner Gillum, and I wish he was here. I don't like talking about a person when he's not here, but the bottom line, he said on TV that this is just a feud between the mayor and I. This has nothing between the mayor and I. It has to be between the man who's sitting in the mayor's seat. And I can tell you that any person up here, if I had documentation that they were taking money, I would be up here speaking against them because I'm a taxpayer. And there's too many people that's sitting back there and not speaking up here. This person is a criminal. I got a call from my attorney at break. What was organized here today was to take a legal issue, to come in here and have court. You commissioners, I think they call it taking away my due process. Your attorney's presenting information that was damning to me, and a lot was falsified. I wasn't given an opportunity, equal opportunity, to point out where his errors were made. And I believe that there's going to be a serious civil problem, and I'm going to get with the judge, and I'm certain we'll get it all worked out. You're not in a position to take this issue and present your side of the issue to the public who's watching and then say, oh, we'll give you 5 minutes. The only thing I've ever asked for is to give me the lock back that you took.
Excuse me, your time's expired.
In summary, my last comment, if you want this thing settled, fine. I want to support Nancy Miller. She had the right, commissioner, she had the right idea. I want to see a policy written which will put some kind of control on this man, our city attorney, from, we need a policy to prevent citizens being spied upon. Thank you very much. I don't want anyone to have to see this guy in the bushes again.
The next speaker is Curtis Baines. Mr. Baines will be followed by Kenneth Thurston.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Curtis Baines, 1323 East Tennessee Street. I had filled out 2 cards earlier, one for item 13.9 and the other unagended to follow up after I heard what the attorney had to say. Excuse me. I think I'm satisfied with the majority of your comments up here, although I'm still not sure what the resolution of the issue was earlier. But what I hope we take away from this is that there's a higher cost involved anytime a question of spying on citizens is involved. It's higher than writing out a check to somebody to provide services. There's a higher cost involved. That's your time in these chambers. I still am concerned about a couple of things that are going to emanate from all of this publicity, warranted or unwarranted, and that is that there is a price to criticizing City Hall. I hope that does not occur. The other is, I hope we haven't opened the door to another whole series of code violations. Because as other people are talking, if you're parking a commercial vehicle with your commercial sign on your residential property, after hours, you're storing commercial property on your property. I hope that doesn't become a future code matter for the city or for the citizens, for that matter. But I hope we can get that resolved, and I hope the takeaway from all this is that it's very sensitive issue and matter, even the suggestion of initiating these private investigations. And if I misstated the amounts involved earlier, I apologize for that. I was using the information that was available to me, and not to put the city attorney on the spot, but he has promised to answer the other questions that I have during the break. He told me he would get back with me on the questions I had. So thank you very much.
Kenneth Thurston, and after that will be Kevin Couliamai.
It's Kenneth Thurston, 4595 Berkeley Drive. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I'll try to keep this civil. I came down here tonight to listen, not to speak. So I've just jotted down some notes, and I have not had a chance to edit or rewrite or rethink how I want to say this. First of all, Mr. Mayor, I am now one of your senior citizens and retired, and been that way for about 7.5 years. And I used to think one of the best things about being retired is that I now control my own calendar. The second best thing is that I now get to speak my mind. And it concerned me when I witnessed a good friend of mine have to endure having his business, his family, watched in a clandestine manner. I know Irwin Jackson. We've been friends for a number of years. Had you wanted to see his property, a simple phone call saying, we want to come out and take some pictures for the record, for the file, and he would have given you permission to do that. Nobody made that phone call. Instead, a private investigator was hired, spent good taxpayer dollars to send them out there and hide in the bushes and take pictures. As I listened to all of this, Mr. Ziffer, you finally came to the right conclusion for the group, and that is you're choking on a gnat. It's time to put that issue to bed. The problem is that because of the politics of personal destruction that we've been speaking about, it was okay to spend that money and choke on that gnat in order to choke Irwin Jackson at the same time. You ask yourself the question, who's really getting hurt? It's the taxpayer. It always comes down to the taxpayer. Whether Irwin's family is being, Dr. Jackson's family is being followed or not, they now have the fear that they are. And that is wrong. I heard all of you up here acknowledge or state that none of you gave the city attorney, assistant city attorney, permission to go do that. That means somebody needs to be fired, coached, counseled, or something, because that's either incompetent or just flat out wrong. This tactic is consistent with some of the other skirting of the law that may not be illegal but unethical behavior that just has to stop. That's all I need to say. Thank you.